Hey, what's up, guys? I want to give you a little heads up. I was reading my last issue of the American Rifleman. This is a NRA publication. Talked about this before. If you join the NRA, they give you a couple options, like what magazine you want as part of your subscription. I mean, it depends on like what level of membership you have, but the very basic like $10 membership, you don't get any like the swag of NRA stuff, but you do become an NRA member. But the standard like $20 membership, whatever, you get a publication you get to pick, and this is one of the more common ones. I think there's another version that's like more hunting related. But anyway, American Rifleman. I talked about this magazine before, showing an article on prepping and like bug out bags and stuff like that. This video is to tell you of another article I just saw in this most recent one, and let's see, this is the August 2012. I just go by the front covers. I never look at what month it is, but obviously it comes when it's supposed to. But anyway, on page 30 in here, they have a long, well, not a long article, but they have an article on wicked Zippos, okay? And not like just any old cool Zippos, like specifically the company Wicked Zippos. Like if you go to wickedzippos.com, you'll find these specific Zippos. And basically it's a guy who does customized Zippo work, okay? Here's a couple examples of it. And of course, you go to the website, you can see it. The website, if you click on the for sale, it'll go to his eBay page, and then you can see all the ones for sale. Now, what he's doing here with these Zippos is he starts off with an armored case brass Zippo. All right, so it is thicker than a regular standard Zippo. Reason being is that he does a lot of emblem attaching to kind of customize them. He also does some stressing of the finish to make it look kind of worn and old. Some bead blasting, some sand blasting. Some purposeful pitting to make it look like a rustic old Zippo. They're really neat. They're really cool. In this case, this example, he added a piece of metal that's welded to the side with like a lanyard loop on here, a little paracord coming to an inactive 45 rounds as kind of like a charm almost on your Zippo. They're really cool. They're interesting. Actually, if I focus this enough without a glare, I'm sure you can read this article. Basically, it's just saying that there's nothing more American than a Zippo, and it's an all-USA thing. And of course, the NRA is very much, proud of America and blah blah blah. They're really cool Zippos. So first of all, it's kind of heads up if you happen to get this publication, but maybe you don't always go through it. I know some people get these and they kind of just throw it in their drawer or whatever. They don't really read them, or they'll scan through and see what the new gun is that they like. If you happen to be a Zippo guy and a gun guy, it's a great little article to read. But the Zippos, although they're cool, they're very expensive. And this is not the first time I've seen this company or this individual. Someone sent me a really nice message probably 4 months ago linking me to this website that they found. I'm not sure if they saw an ad in the back of NRA or whatever, but I already was introduced to this company. And the first time I saw it, I was very excited. I said, oh, this is awesome. Got to make videos on it. And I looked at the prices and I said, not for everyone. Custom anything is usually expensive because you're paying for someone's time and effort. In this case, you're paying for all kinds of preparation, and what he's basically doing, I shouldn't really, I don't know for a fact. I mean, I can look at the Zippo and tell you what he did, but I'm sure there's more work that it just appears to be. Regardless, this gives you ideas, and that's the reason that, if you wanted to customize your own Zippo, there's tons of things you can do. Artisan Tony did a nice video on just doing his own kind of paint job on it, and you can totally customize your Zippo that way. You don't have to even get something like as crazy as Duracoat or all these other fancy, baked on type finishes. You can literally just go to Walmart or a hardware store and get really high quality paints. You can get textured paints, print out a pattern, cut it out, you can do camouflage, you do all kinds of stuff. You can get really creative that way. In this case, he's going a step further as opposed to changing the finish of the Zippo. He's starting with a thick skinned, which is the armor models. And by the way, I'll probably have a video in the future on this, but an armored Zippo, the only difference between that one and any other one is that the case itself is actually thicker. It's like 1.5 times the thickness of a standard Zippo. So the hinge is the same. It doesn't have a stronger hinge, and it does not have a different insert. So if you're wondering if that's worth it to you, basically what you're getting is a Zippo that's less prone to denting on the outside, and it's just a heavier Zippo. The best pro, in my opinion, with the armor Zippos is that you can get really cool designs because you can dig and engrave really deep on those. So I think they're cool for that. But anyway, in my opinion, I think the armor Zippos would be cooler if like they beefed up the hinge too, so it doesn't get loose as easily. But regardless, anyway, as far as prices on these, here's a couple Zippos on eBay right now that don't have emblems or anything like that, but they have some pretty cool engravings on them, and they're like $100. That's the cheapest one I saw. And the models that you see here, an example, these run about $250 to $350 each. Okay, so it's not for everyone. It's definitely a very expensive custom thing. They're pretty darn cool, but that's a lot of money. If they were more like 100 to 150 for like all out, I think more people would be interested. But there's still a market for it. It doesn't matter what a price is. Someone out there will like it, who can afford it, and they'll buy it. Or if it's something you just really, really like, you'll save up for it. But the purpose of me telling you this is, first, check it out. If you happen to have this issue and you like Zippos, if in case you missed it, go back page 30. They have the article on Wicked Zippos. But in addition to that, I want to give you guys ideas to customize your own Zippos. There's all different things you can do to customize it. You see the knife pimpage all the time. There's a lot of great guys on here who pimp knives. I've talked about Gabco before. He does some knife pimping. I mean, Gabco's awesome in a lot of different ways, but he's making his own knives, but he's also customizing here and there. Now he's getting familiar with them. Of course, Tough Thumbs is like the master knife pimper right now. There's tons of guys. Sherman 614, I see, has been doing some pimping, in the last couple months, and coming up some cool stuff. By the way, another shout out to Sherman 614 because he has very cool bullet beads. And what he's doing is he's taking the rim's part of the cartridge and finishing off really nice and making like a bead out of it for lanyards. You can, I'm sure, stack them or stagger them on a bracelet or use it as a pendant or whatever. Keychains. It's a really cool idea. So check that out. I know he's got those for sale. And that's in fact what he used on some of these Zippos. You see the rear of the bullet on the lid there, as well as on this one here. That's all it is. It's basically a Sherman 614 bullet bead glued to a Zippo. It doesn't really matter who does this stuff first or whatever. I'm sure this guy's been doing it for a long time. But the ideas are there. So you can customize your Zippos any way you want to make them very unique to you. As far as tricks go with Zippos, I would say most of the time you want a medium texture. A really heavy texture Zippo is hard to manipulate because it won't slide easily. On the flip side, you won't drop it as easily either. The only thing, if you do Zippo tricks, a very high polish is the worst thing you could possibly get because the thing's going to fly at your hands no matter what you do. But anyway, just some ideas there and a heads up on the article. In addition, it has nothing to do with this video at all, but in the same issue here, just wanted to point out something for the 1911 fans out there. There's a great blown up schematic of 1911s. So, if you happen to, here we go, this is on page 56, 57. This is a great reference for all you gun guys out there. If perhaps you're making gun videos, this gives a list of every single part in a 1911. It's nice to see how things work and how all the different parts function, but more importantly, it gives you specific part names. In case you are making a video and you're not exactly sure what each part's called, or who knows, maybe you're replacing a part because it's really worn, and when you're looking online, you don't know what that piece is called. This is a fantastic reference for you for that. So anyway, just a couple heads up on this issue. It's a great publication. If you're a member of the NRA, I'm sure you already get this, but if you're not, it's worth it. There's some good information here. What I like most about these American Riflemen's, not necessarily some of the articles, but what I get most out of this particular magazine is being exposed to new guns. When a new gun comes out, I read an article about it, I get to know a little bit about it. And what's fun about that is that, in the future, if I do, buy new guns and stuff, I'm exposed to more variety, so I have a better understanding of what I may want and what I may not want, as opposed to getting behind the eight ball. If you are into guns and you get out of the gun scene for a while, you miss so much stuff. That goes for any hobby. If you're really into knives and then you stop reading and talking about knives for a while, and you come back and you're like, oh, what's that knife? People are like, oh, that's been out forever, and no one even cares about that anymore. But you're not exposed to that information. So this is a great way to log and kind of in your mind keep yourself up to date in the hobby. So anyway, that's it for this video. It's a couple heads ups. I'm going to do another video very soon on Ballistol because there's a lot to know about it. And of course, gets a lot of publicity on YouTube. It's a fantastic product, but my video is going to be extremely long and for some people boring. but there's going to be a lot of information involved with it, so you know exactly what Valstol is all about. And from there, you can decide whether it's something that you want to use for certain reasons, or maybe you don't want to use. Who knows? But out of this information that I've read recently, and really just wanting to know everything about it, what makes it good, what makes it better than other lubricants, solvents, blah, 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 cleaner. And I'm sold on the idea after reading all these things. So I'll make a video on that very soon. In the meantime, hope you guys enjoy your day, and I will see you soon. Take it easy, guys.